listening to the Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technological advanced silhouette decoys on the market. And Vortex Canada, the force of optics.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430. This is episode 59. Only got the three of us. We have no idea where Mark is right now. He is gone off the grid. He is not answering messages, and he's pretty much flipped us the big bird, and he's not coming on tonight. I think he's got some issues going on at home with his landscaping. And for those of you that don't know Mark, when things don't go exactly as planned, he may be a little irate. So no, Mark. Philly is doing his best to get onto some Wi-Fi up in Omimi, the hometown of Neil Young. And we had a guest planned for tonight, a really solid guest, but Murphy's Law and had a pipe bust in his house, so he's cleaning up that mess. So you get us three beauties for now. Hopefully Philly comes on.
This is going to be the ugliest episode we've ever done.
Ryan's in Nova Scotia. Oh, this is totally going to be ugly. Like 10 minutes before we hit record, we found out there was no guests, no
Phil.
Yeah, and no Phil. So this is going to be.
It won't be rated R, at least.
Well, yeah, there won't be.
It'll be rated ugly.
It'll be rated ugly. Yeah. So, fellas, I guess, like I said, Dave's up in Concord and Ryan's in Nova Scotia. I'm here just outside Kingston, Ontario. So I guess the big news, and I really didn't get a chance to dive into them too much, but the big news is that our duck hunting regs are out for 21-22. I didn't see I just quickly glanced. I didn't see any changes to the bag limits, especially for here in Ontario. So I think it's status quo for bag limits here in Ontario. Ryan, what about you down in Nova Scotia? Any difference?
No, it's pretty generic, same as last year. We have our goose opener September 7th, our duck opener October 1st. There's the sexy bearded beast.
There he is.
Our limit's pretty much the same. Early goose is 8. Ducks is 6. 6 can be black up until December 7th again. I don't quote me on that. And then it goes down to 4. So, and then our duck season closes January 7th, which is very nice for my liking.
I know from my part, I'm trying to read the regs on my phone. I sent a message off to Dave and Phil and a couple of us that are planning the opener, and I was like, this. And they were like, no, that's not the right end date because of this and this and this. And I'm like, no, pretty sure this is the end date, and trying to read it on my phone and not scrolling and not reading properly.
I just asked on Facebook. I just went to
what are the Facebook? So yeah, so we got the date squared away, and like we all say, and Dave sort of kind of alluded to it, you know, the people that just come on Facebook and ask without trying to read. Do yourself a favor. Don't try and read those regs on your phone, or else you'll end up like me and getting all kinds of confused. But luckily enough, I have Phil and Dave and Brennan Veerman and Jason Sear and Mark Vitch that quickly pointed out my wrongdoings and set me on the right path. So
and by the looks of things, with the closing of my new house and the closing of my current house, I will be hunting duck opener this year.
Attaboy. That was looking
by the looks of things. I was getting a little worried, but by the looks of things, we're going to have both houses for a week period.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm going to tee up because according to my mother, as I was told, and you always listen to your mother, I'm getting movers.
Who's a big fan of the show, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, huge
Massive
fan.
fan.
Huge.
Mom's like, you're getting movers, and that's like your housewarming gift. I'm like, okay, can't argue with mom.
Phew.
No.
Wicked housewarming gift.
Right?
See, I say that, but I am so spoiled. And Ryan, I know you understand what I'm saying with this, but I've never, ever had to move myself, because every time I've moved, I've been in the army.
Right.
You mean my tax dollars do it?
Yeah, but you'd rather your tax dollars than your back. So
Yeah.
That's true. I'm just glad that I don't have to move my gun safe, because
that's good.
it's in my basement and it's 310 pounds.
You get Wally, the big truck driver, to come in and get her for you, eh?
Yeah. Have at
Wow.
it, boys. Here's a case of beer.
He'll lift that up the
Wicked.
stairs by himself with a dart in his mouth, no problem.
Right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Pitter patter.
Let's get at her.
Let's get at it. Boys, we sort of kind of touched on it a little bit. And Dave, I sent you something today about it. And I really wanted to talk about it tonight and to try and get, we'll use this as a litmus test for me because of something that I want to plan on doing down the road. But last Friday I was talking to Bobby Hayes. Bobby Hayes called me last Friday and we were just shooting the shit on the phone. And he had said to me that he's been trying to put down into words what it is meant to be a waterfowl hunter, a duck hunter. And he says he gets it, but then he sort of kind of goes off the rails a little bit, and he really can't get it into words what it is exactly that he's saying. And for those of you that don't know Bobby, he is a smart man, and he has some brilliant ideas, and there's a whole lot of stuff happening up in that head, and he's just not able to get it down on paper. And I was, you know what, I want to start picking your guys' brains on what it is to be a waterfowler, and to keep it simple, I'd like to just go around the table and do it that way, as opposed to us jumping in, which we tend to do, and cut one another off. So I'd like to do that, and then, you know, give you a couple minutes to think about it. I've had some time to think about it, so I'll go first, and then as I'm talking, you guys think about what it is, and if you don't have much to say, that's fine, that's great, but I think it's something that needs to get out there. And the reason why I'm saying that I think it needs to get out there is because I think there is a wrong message that's making its way on social media right now on what it is to be a waterfowler. And that starts with a term that Bobby introduced to me, which is called the bro crew. So no, not the,
okay.
Yeah, the bro crew. And listen, I'm not, I really got to tiptoe around this, because I know there's some people that's going to listen to it and it may get your hackles up a little bit. And that's not what I'm trying to do. And I'm not trying to insult anybody. But we've talked about these numerous times on this show. And I know, Phil, you were really, really passionate about it. And it's these pictures that make their way on social media. And these fellas, and listen, I get it. You're young, and Ryan, maybe you can talk of a waterfowler, something that you talked about once before with us, when I give the mic to you, because it tends to be a lot of the younger generation that's putting these pictures up, and it's these giant stacks of birds. So I think when I see a stack of 60 birds, I think that, well, there's 8 people that's hunting that to get that stack of 60 birds. I've been hunting for a long time, and every time I hunt, there's always 1 or 2 people that won't take birds. There's always a couple dudes that are like, I don't need any. I got lots in the freezer, or I don't like it, or You just take it, whatever. So I'm thinking about these stacks of 60 birds, 40 birds, whatever it may be. And I'm thinking, well, who's eating this? You know, like one dude, like, so legally one dude can't walk home with 40 birds because obviously he's over his possession limit, over the bag limit, the whole bit. So like what's happening with all these birds? Where are all these birds going? I know some fellas will fucking put them into jerky and all that stuff, but I digress. These stacks, these big giant stacks of birds, how are you hiding 8 people? How many birds are coming in that 8 people are jumping up and just whacking and sending a pile of steel down range, getting your 60 birds, and then you got to clean these 60 birds? Who's taking them? And this is all, and I'm not off track here yet. And this is all in relation to a group, the Bro Crew, that needs to have this picture on social media of a stack of 60 birds. And I think that's the wrong message. This is my opinion, and disagree with me if you see fit, but I think that's the wrong message to be putting out there, that there's these big giant stacks of dead birds, and fellas are, because the reality is, we all know that not everybody is taking their fair share of birds. Does that make sense?
I would say just off that if you get invited to a hunt with there's like, you know, it's going to be a smoker, and you're not willing before even accepting that invite to take your limit of those birds, then don't accept that invite. Don't be that guy or gal who's like, well, I've got a full freezer, so if anybody wants, don't even. I mean,
Well,
there's
if you got a full freezer.
That's like,
you should be hunting.
That's right. So there is the odd person who's like gets out maybe once or twice a year, and they just, you know, and they're like, hey, you know, I will take extra if anybody wants to give it up, and that's fine. But if you're showing up to a hunt and you're not prepared to take your share, your limit, then you shouldn't be going, because you need to be respecting that game.
And not only respecting the game, but if you're not taking any, then there's somebody that's going to have to take them that could possibly put them in trouble with the law, right?
That's right.
Dave, sorry I cut you off, buddy.
No, I know a good friend of mine, he does a lot of those big hunts. And I got a few things to say about it. Number one, when it comes to actually taking the meat, they all live in the same little house and they take it back as a group. And those boys, they're putting back, that's feeding them through college. Like that's what they're eating. And they're taking the hearts and eating the hearts in different ways and finding that's what's feeding them through college. So I see it that way. But I also see for Tanner, I think he's going to be a guide when he's older. And I think these big hunts that he's doing with the pictures is almost like a resume for him to, when he applies to Saskatchewan, he can do it. He's practicing. He wants to get his schooling done first, and that's first and foremost, but he's showing that in his off time, he can guide guys with the big hunts. So I see it both ways. Like, I understand there are people out there that are going to take those big hunts and shoot the limit. And then, but there are some guys that are doing it as like a job interview, and they're taking lots of people out and having fun with it. So
if you want to go out and go hunting and smash birds and stuff and not take your meat home, go skeet shooting.
Okay.
Go skeet shooting. There you go. You don't have to. You get to pull the trigger all you want. You don't have to take anything home. There you go.
And I think I sort of kind of I didn't get my message across the right way, because what I was trying to say is that when and I say we as a duck hunting, goose hunting community, when we post these big giant pictures, is it the right message to have out on social media. So Dave, I get what Tanner's doing, and he's doing let's say an electronic resume, and here, you want to know if I can kill birds? Here's the proof that I can kill birds. I get that. I get it.
But the thing that people don't see when you talk about what's it mean to be a waterfowler, they don't see the 30 days that you go out or 20 days you go out and you may not see something. You may not shoot anything. But the benefit of being a waterfowler is it's not like when you're out deer hunting and you're sitting in that stand all by yourself. Like, you're out there, you're cooking your bacon, you have a group of guys with you. Maybe you're going solo, whatever. But like with the waterfowlers, like it's kind of a big, I don't want to say fraternity, but it's like a group that they all get together and it's a social club, right? That's a big part of it too. And you might have 20 days where you don't see or shoot anything. And yeah, because I used to, when Tanner first started posting those pictures, I'm like, fuck, I wish I could get up there for a hunt. But then I would have missed hunting with some of the guys I hunted with and seeing some of the things we did. And like, you know, it's not just about those big pile pictures, but those big pile pictures happen. And it's a congratulations to those guys too, right? That's how I see it.
Yeah. That's cool what you said. And that'll tie into what I asked Ryan to speak about, and that's that evolution of the hunter, because that's what you just said, Dave, is coming from a mature, and I use the word mature as a safer word than saying you're old. But a mature hunter, as opposed to, I can't even grow
a fucking beard.
but Ryan, like the evolution of the waterfowler, like from where he starts to the point where we're at today. If you can like talk us through those stages, and that'll make a lot of sense to what you just said, Dave, comparing Tanner to yourself.
Yeah, just like, I mean, I think back like when my dad started taking me out when I was super young, like, you know, I got to that age where I could finally, you know, go with him and shoot a gun and shoot my first duck, you know. And then the next stage was like, man, I can't wait to be able to go out on my own friends and shoot our own ducks. And then it was like, whoa, we're having success. And now it's like, well, man, we need to shoot a limit. Like, we got to be able to, you know, shoot a limit. And you shoot a limit, and then it's like, well, you know what, that we can consistently kill birds and shoot a limit. Maybe it'd be nice to shoot, like, just shot all greenheads and stuff like that. And then that happens. And, you know, I mean, I'm kind of at the point now, and that's kind of why I got into guiding work. And I love doing youth days, is I get more, and my dad's been like this for years, as you know, Damien, like, you know, he gets more enjoyment out of, you know, being on a hunt with us and just watching it unfold. And I think to me, like, guiding, like, that's why I enjoy it. And I'm sure Phil is the same way. Like, you just love watching. It's kind of like watching your kids opening presents on Christmas morning. You get to live that vicariously again. And it's just like to see the enjoyment and the excitement and the enthusiasm. It's just kind of like, it reinvigorates that passion for yourself. And that's why I love it. And that's the stage I'm at in my life, in my waterfowl life, I guess, is you've reached that. And it's not about just like shooting, you know. I mean, you go back to like the big mass piles. I had 2 hunts last year where it was like that, where we had like 6, 7, you know, guys on a hunt. And I mean, those are fun. Those are great hunts. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, displaying that accomplishment. But to some people, like especially younger guys, that's a big deal, and it's part of the process. It's part of the journey, but it's not the end all be all. And it's just part of the process. We go through this as, you know, deer hunters, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just, as you get older, you kind of you appreciate the steps that you're taking more so than, you know, the end of the journey, I guess. So
yeah, and I want to add in here that by no means am I trying to make myself seem like I'm this whatever. 10, 15 years ago, I was trying to get those, I live for those smasher hunts where it was a 6-man limit, and it was just stacks and stacks of birds. I lived for it. Now at the ripe age of 32. No, but right now at the age of 44, that's not what's important to me, which is what you're saying, Ryan. Like it's not what I strive to accomplish when I go out on a bird hunt now. So Dave.
What? No, but like, let's admit though, like, we're not saying it's like, whenever you do shoot your limit or a huge pile, it's a big accomplishment at the same time, and it is. Don't take away from that accomplishment. Like, it's a great thing. And yeah, I don't see anything wrong. I am probably the least experienced guy here because I didn't hunt in a legal capacity through my teenage years, right? So yeah, I didn't have that young age hunting stuff, right?
And don't get it twisted. Like, I had a hunt last year where, I had like 600 Canadas in a cut cornfield, and they had been there for like over a week and a half, and massive cornfield, tons of feed. Like, this is the hunt where you need to call everybody you can. And I scratched and scraped to get 7 guys out because I knew this was going to be shooting fish in a barrel. And it was like, we shot a 7-man limit of geese in, I don't know, less than an hour. Yeah. That's fine. That's great. Those opportunities that happened to me twice last year. They don't happen all the time, right? So take advantage of it. But it's not the end all be all. That's the point.
And I think it's something that's missing too, is if you go to a public area and you see a great hunting spot and someone gets up early enough and gets there before you, we have to start admitting that maybe we shouldn't be hunting close to there just because we scouted there, and move somewhere else and look at the safety aspect too, right? Anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I guess I really went about this the wrong way and how I was explaining. I am not anti big smasher hunts or big stack hunts.
I just want to point out, like, since Damien, I don't know, maybe it's me. Is it me tweaking out or Damien?
It's Damien.
Damien?
It's always Damien.
I just want to point out, guys, that being part of this podcast, when someone puts out a point, I'm going to try and counter it no matter what, no matter how I think. Because we got to have some kind of little bit of it. We can't all be like, silos are great, and then no one talks about the negative side of it, right? Like, there's always
why we have
positive and negative and a way to learn. So
that's why we have Mark.
Yeah, Mark's not here today, so
so let's pump up silos.
Yeah, but again, like I'm not anti big.
Oh yeah,
he's just
Damien, you're fired.
Yeah.
So into Damien's comments here about, like, the big piles and smells and stuff. Like, I've been super fortunate in the area that I hunt in, and like the astronomical amount of geese that we have. And I got into field hunting, I'd say a handful of years before Duck Dynasty, and I don't care what anyone says, Duck Dynasty ruined fucking duck hunting.
Yes, it did.
I disagree.
I was.
Shut up, Dave.
Just because Mark's not here.
Right? So I secured a handful of like stupid prime fields, and these landowners have been great to me ever since. But like, I legit stopped field hunting for like 2 or 3 years because it was the same thing every time. Go out, quick little drive. Yeah, there's 4, 5, 6, 800 birds. Get 4 of us together, 30, 40 minutes. We were done. I think the quickest hunt I ever did was like 20 minutes. And I'm like, it lost it. Like there was no fun to it. There's no challenge. Like, yeah, birds are there. Show up, grind. Okay, we're done. Do it again tomorrow. Like, it wasn't. It just, I got burnt out. It was the same thing over and over. But like, now, being a little older and obviously still going at it, I'll still go out for those grinds, but like not nearly as often. Like maybe once a week, maybe 2 every 3 weeks. Like I've cut back the big field shoots. And again, like, what the hell do you do with all these birds, right? Like, you can only make so much jerky and sausage and stuff. And like, yeah, like, you know, the piles and smiles are great, but for the most part, I just enjoy being in the field. Whether we shoot 1 bird or 40, it's just literally sitting there doing 3 shades of fuck all, having a cigar, and chatting with my buddies. That's what means to me the most, as opposed to these, you know, huge smasher piles and photos and all the gory shots. Like, I think there was another post, I can't remember where I saw it within like the last day or two. And it was always like, oh yeah, like, you know, all the big headshots. Yeah, let's fuel the antis with some more photo content, because like they don't have enough as it is already, right?
I think I mistakenly put us down a rabbit hole here, fellas. And
we're hunters. We're simple-minded folk.
Yeah, and
I
apologize.
thought that when you were saying that, eventually it was like what it means to be a waterfowler, and then you kind of tailed off. And
yeah,
here we are.
so let's reset. I said my piece. Philly, you've had lots of time to think about it now. What does it mean to you to be a waterfowler?
To me, it's those early mornings. It's sitting in that swamp, sitting in that pond, you know, the smell of loon shit, as one would call it, hearing wood ducks whistling through the woods, and not to what's the term? Not to drop a preview of such, but if you want to know what being a waterfowl means to me, look at the DU gun calendar that's coming out next year.
Ooh.
That's all I got to say.
I think Philly just done a plug for himself being featured in the calendar.
Not a big deal.
No big deal. Yeah. Ryan.
I always think of like hunting as almost like a sport, you know, like, well, it's a sport, but in the sense like you compare like football to hockey, golf to baseball, that. Waterfowl hunting is going hunting when no other type of hunter would go hunting. And I have a couple of examples that always come to mind. Me and Mark went hunting in a literal blizzard once. Like, we knew this front was coming. We just mistimed it. Like, we were getting like 30 centimeters of snow. I remember we hunted this little pond, little farm pond that always has ducks on it. And we were taking turns going out like every 5-10 minutes and clearing the snow off the decoys. Like, we were just rotating because it was nonstop. And it was like, we would get birds at like 20 yards and you could barely see them. It was just incredible snow. And it was just like, you know, like nobody else would do this. Like, people are going to think we're insane. And that separation, like that drive that you have to have, like, I mean, there's tons of different types of duck hunters, but to me, like, I can't think of, you know, aside from everybody here, I can't think of too many people that I've waterfowl hunted with who would have gone with me that day. You know, it's just, that's what comes to mind for me.
Yeah. Dave?
I think I could sum it up into 2 words. To me, it's diversity and camaraderie.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, you like that?
Marmalade.
3
Was that
words.
3 words?
That was
Jesus. Come on, dumb it down.
Camaraderie
for us
2
here.
or 3? What?
No, camaraderie is 1 word.
Yeah, so diversity and camaraderie. Those are the 2 words.
You said you put an and in there.
And
Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
Anyway,
got you,
but to me, like, the camaraderie part was big. Like, I was bored when I was out deer hunting and you're sitting in the same stand every day with bait in front of you. Even bear hunting, like, you're sitting there with bait in front. With duck hunting, like, you're going out with your group of friends and having fun, and it's enjoyable. And then the diversity side of it, like, there are so many different ways to go after these animals. There's so many different types of these birds. There's so many different setups. Every single time it's a learning experience. And the diversity part of it is like seeing, like, well, today we set up like this. If I go out tomorrow and it's the same conditions and I set out like this, why didn't it work? So I just like, I like that challenging, diverse part of it myself.
how
well said.
how does this, when I say this statement, how does this resonate with the 3 of yous? that duck hunting is the most intimate experience you will have hunting a species. There is no other species that is hunted that you have such an intimate experience with than ducks. And the reason I say it is because of these things. Ryan, you started. The worst weather in the world that you can imagine we're out in. The calls that are individually tuned to us, the decoys that you have to prep, the boat that you have to have, the dog that you don't need to train, but many of us do have trained dogs. The everything that encapsulates, that's a big word.
No.
That's not
It's long, but my fucking kids know that word. Jesus.
Okay, whatever. Shut up.
It's a big word, Damien. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, is that would you agree with that statement that there is no other species? And I know like big game hunters be like, oh, well, like we go out in shitty weather and do that. But if you get your animal that first day, then you're done. We do it every day, over and over and over. And there's not many of my waterfowl hunting friends, my duck hunting friends, that have ever said to me, yeah, I don't think I'm going out tomorrow. It's calling for a shitty day.
Yeah.
Shake the sand out of your panties.
Like, is that a fair statement? Would you guys agree that duck hunting is the most intimate?
I would say oh, go ahead, Phil.
Oh, like just what Damon just said. Like, oh, the weather's going to be royally shit. Buckle up, Nancy. Let's fucking ride. We're going.
Yeah.
I got an 18.5-foot boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Had to throw that in there.
Yeah. It's been like 30 episodes since we've heard that. So
hell yeah, full send.
Well, for me, like this upcoming season, like I have 3 things I'm looking forward to the most. The first is the probability of any of you guys coming out here to hunt. Like just that, just getting back to that normalcy and the history that we all have hunting together and whatnot. Some more than others in this group, but still, like it doesn't matter. 2, I have a 5-year-old son who is constantly harassing me when duck season starts now, which I love. I mean, I'm not trying to brainwash him or anything, but he wants to go out. So, to have him and my father here, we can share a blind. I don't care if we shoot a bird, but if we make breakfast sandwiches in the A-frame and he gets to set up decoys and he has himself a great time and it's a positive experience, that will mean the world to me, and it'll be something that I'll take with me to the day I die. And I've spent, I can't tell you how many hours training a new lab this year. And so I get to watch her make her first retrieve at some point this year. So those 3 things to me, like there's nothing else in hunting that compares to that. There's some similarities in deer hunting. I have a lot of respect for deer hunters and I enjoy deer hunting, but waterfowling is my passion and things like that. Like it's a lifestyle. It is. You ask my wife, like look at the amount of plastic decoys I have behind me. Like, and this isn't everything I own, but like it is a passion and a lifestyle. So
Dave?
I don't know. I think most of what I would want to say has been said. Like it's
Okay. I want to throw it. So I haven't had a ton of blind breakfasts. Not a ton. I've had them mostly as a guest, not me being the cook. But I will say this, probably the best breakfast you'll ever have is after a hunt when you and your buddies hit up that greasy grill and you have that trucker special of just a heart attack on a plate.
That brings up a memory. I took out 2 friends well, this is going back a few years now, probably 5-6 years ago, and it was the last day of duck season, and we went out, did a shoreline hunt for divers, and I kid you not, we smashed our 18 birds in like a half hour, and we were done. We went to the little local, and this is like one of the first times I've ever done this. And we went to like the local town where we were, and wandered in, camo, sweaty, whatever, stinky head to toe, and sat down like this greasy spoon. Just had like a hungry man's trucker breakfast, because like the hunt was done so quick. Where it's like, well, shit,
Yeah.
like we barely got to warm up and enjoy each other's company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we went and had breakfast, and like just sitting down and having that hot, greasy meal after that cold hunt. Again, like last day of the season, so it was like what, January 5th or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's still stuck to me to this day.
If it's
And
a morning hunt, it's the biggest breakfast that any menu has on it. And if it's an afternoon hunt, it's an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet.
Yeah.
There's no contest. It's A or B.
Yeah.
Big time. And there's always, regardless, there's always that one bird that does it dirty, and it gets shot in the face, and it just does this plummet from the heavens. That is the funniest thing you've ever seen. And that gets dissected and talked about at that breakfast table so much that you're reliving it. Like you can, everything about it. It's just amazing. And these are the things that, you know, as you guys know, and I know you all feel this way, but we have, and I keep saying it, we have this responsibility to ensure that this duck hunting way of life continues for future generations. And I get it that shooting birds is fun. I friggin' love it. I do. I love it. But there's other things about the hunt that are so special that at 21 years old, you may not fully grasp. And maybe it'll take you till the ripe old age of 44 before you do. But you think about watching the world wake up every morning. And that to me, I'm not a sunset, taking pictures of the sunset type of dude. That is not something that really gets my blood pumping. But leaving when it's pitch black to go to your blind, getting your decoys out, getting everything set up, and then sitting down and listening to the entire world wake up is something that I don't think you could pay money to experience something like that. And that is something that I truly do love about it. And I love when I take new bird hunters out with me, and when I say, yeah, I'll pick you up at 4 because we got to be at the boat launch for 4:30 to get to the blind at 5 to set decoys and hide ourselves to be ready for 6. And then when we're sitting there and the person goes, we really messed up that timing, eh? We could have probably got our sleep. No, buddy. There's no extra half hour sleep. This is it. This is the best part about it.
Well, it's also one of those sports where you can go, like I can go and hunt with Ryan in Nova Scotia, and we'll do bird hunting there a bit different than I do it here. Mm-hmm. We can go to Long Point because that's a destination. We can go here with deer hunting, turkey hunting, one of my favorites. Like it's still kind of the same stuff, right? But with the birds, like, oh, I want to go to Saskatchewan sometime. I want to go to Maryland sometime. I want to hunt with Jeff Coates down there. You know, you don't get that with other stuff. So,
no, good point.
What's your thoughts on
timber?
Hands down, the top of my bucket list to be in Arkansas and flooded timber. Hands down.
Like, what about how they call it a sport What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'm okay with the word sport. I personally don't consider it a sport, and for no other reason than I just and I don't want to sound cocky or anything when I say this, but I'm a duck hunter. That's how I view it. I don't view it as a sport. Like I played hockey. Hockey was a sport. I was part of a hockey team, but I wouldn't call myself a hockey player because I was horrible at it. And I'm not a great hunter either, but
I was going to say, you call yourself a duck hunter.
but no, like my view of me being a duck hunter isn't through skill. It's through the appreciation of everything that's involved in it. Like I can tell you right now that if I went on a duck hunt on a different day with each of you, every one of you would say something different on how to set up. Every one of you would say something different on how to set up. And that is the true beauty of it, because just when you think you know, say something, well, you shouldn't do it like that. You should do it like this because of this. And there's an explanation behind it. And you do it and it fucking works. And you're like,
well, the funny thing is you're correct in that sense that all four of us would set our spread differently. Mm-hmm. But regardless, all four of us would still walk out there and change this shit 5-6 times.
You know what? I try my best never to change. But the only thing that I will change is usually the robo duck.
I'm bad for it.
I don't usually change my spread. The robo duck I might change, but usually the spread I don't tend to touch the spread.
I will adjust, but I won't change. And there's a difference.
Yeah, like if I'm doing like diver hunting, like running long lines, I'll toss them out. That's the end of it. But like field shoots or small water and stuff, Christ, I'll be out there 5-6 times. That decoy, no, too close to that one. No, that one's facing the wrong way. Like, and we're all guilty of it.
And that's such a funny thing. Like when you'll hear fellas say, "Well, that decoy is too close." Like, and I've heard it. I've said it. Oh, yeah. And I've heard it, but like. Remember, that bird has a brain this size,
right?
It's like in the playoffs when Carey Price was playing in the playoffs. I had no doubt in my mind Carey Price was in the head of every opposing shooter, that they were coming down with the puck and they were like, this shot has got to be perfect in order for it to go in. We allow the birds to get inside our head, and they make us start changing shit because they're not doing it the way we think they should do it.
That's probably the best or worst downfall of us, is we are the greatest overthinkers of any hunter out there.
Big time.
We are our own worst enemy.
Well, mind you, there's way more factors in our hunts. You know, when you're throwing out like 60 decoys on average, you know, there's a lot of mitigate, or you have anywhere between 1 to 7, 8 shooters. Like there's a lot of mitigating factors there in that process. So
you got to take into consideration, like quote unquote, like the direction of travel. Where's the fucking thing? Where's the roost?
Yeah. Which way is the wind?
Right? Where is the sun? Like so much. I apologize as I have an empty beer can holding up my phone.
Yeah, it's just.
But when we talk about the size of the brains of these animals, like we talked about it this year for turkey season. Like, how can I not shoot one of these stupid things? They got a brain the size of a pea, blah, blah, going on. Yeah, but they're not learning how to talk to us in English or learn 5 languages or learn how to shoot a gun. All they're doing is they know how to get food. They know that they want to go fuck. And they know that they want to run away from things they don't like. So, yeah, They got a smaller brain, but they
survival
don't have to
and
do much
reproduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Survival and reproduction. That's it, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Damien's on the run.
Anyone notice that bottle that's behind him there? Weird. It
That's
looks full.
Bird Dog.
Looks full.
It does. That's
Pardon
probably why
me.
he's so coherent this evening.
Yeah.
Bird Dog Whiskey, the unofficial whiskey sponsor of Punch Your Water.
I think it's strawberry flavored.
Are you serious? He's drinking.
I'm starting to
strawberry
think you know a little too much, David.
I
Yeah,
might have
what's
dropped it
the
off to
flavor?
him. No,
strawberry flavored whiskey.
Hey,
David, you had to pass my house to get to Damien's.
I didn't know your address.
I don't give a shit.
You can
Is
have this
that
one.
technically still a whiskey, or is it now in liqueur category?
I don't know.
What's the percentage on it?
This one's
It's-
liqueur. This is
it's
Bird Dog
yummy.
liqueur.
There
What
we
is
go.
that?
This is Bird Dog Devil Dog. It is Coco Cayenne. See if I can get this up in there.
See,
What?
I got hooked for a brief period. Jack Daniel's honey whiskey, and then somebody quickly squared me up and said, "That's not fucking whiskey. That's a liqueur." And I was like, "Oh, you know what? Check that. You're right." So still drank it. It's delicious, but
Look, seal's still on it too.
It's not kosher.
I might know where there's a peach one, and I might know where there's an apple one.
David,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay premium dollar.
That's
What
just
I wanted to get is that screwball, the peanut butter flavored
Right.
stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
Apparently
yeah, I've
that's
seen that.
awesome.
it is. It's good. I had the blackberry, just throwing out our unofficial sponsor of the show, Bird Dog Whiskey. I had the blackberry, I think it is. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. Peach is my favorite.
Peach and apple.
Yeah, apple's okay. I'm a big.
Didn't they
peach
just
fan.
come out
Apple's
with a peanut butter
delicious.
as well?
They did. I had the peanut butter.
Salted caramel.
oh my god,
Salted caramel.
Just
You gotta
pour it on
use
your ice cream.
By the second here.
Put it on your ice cream. Yeah. Awesome. Well, boys, that was some good banter.
Every day's a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Some are just better than others.
Eggs are out. We got stuff to look forward to. It's all that matters.
Well, yeah,
I have a whole new territory to start scouting this fall.
That's right.
yeah,
Eh?
you do.
So excited.
Jeez.
So excited.
Are you still going to be able to hunt the properties that you got now?
There's not a goddamn chance in hell I'm giving up my fields.
How far are they further away? Like much further?
You don't worry about that.
Oh, I'm asking, like trying to be nice to you.
Don't ask questions.
Huh?
Don't ask questions.
Friggin'
My fields.
cage-
I'll still be
KG
hunting. I'll still be
KGB
hunting my
over there.
fields. Right?
I didn't kick Phil out.
Losing battery.
We've got to one thing that we do have to do, and Ryan's in Nova Scotia, so we've got to marry up a bunch of calendars here, but we've got to figure out what our plan is as a group for our travel. I know Mark got a couple big moose hunts that he's planning. We're doing opener down in my area. We're going to try and get down to Nova Scotia to see Ryan and smash some black ducks. Wade Shoemaker, if you're listening, I know you told us once that you would pay a lot of money to come and hunt black ducks. And I'm telling you, December in Nova Scotia, you need to be talking to us and booking a flight, buddy, because this is awesome. But we do need to get in. We've got Corey Baker that's sent out an invitation for us to come and hang out with him and Andy Verco and his crew. We've got a lot of invitations. We're doing a couple hunt camps that's going to tie up a little bit of time. But I think this whole idea of traveling around and I don't think it's something that's really, really popular in Canada to just travel around and hunt birds. Not like it is in the States. Like we talk to our some of our guests in the States, like they'll chase the migration from North Dakota all the way south. Like, and I know not everybody can do that because, you know, your work and you've got your responsibilities and stuff like that. But how amazing would it be a bunch of hunts where we can travel as a group and meet up with new people and some old friends, but to spread this word and to try and show people our opinions on what it is to be a duck hunter and why we love it so much. Not just because of the stacks of birds and those types of things, but the other things, that the camaraderie and the diversity, as Dave said, those things. Hey,
I just got to tie in something here while you're talking about it. Like, we posted up that we were putting up a camp last week. 16 people get an invite. We didn't give anybody pre-knowledge of it. Nobody knew except, well, really Damien knew when he was posting that up. That was the only person that really knew. And the amount of people, I had 4 people message me upset that I didn't send them a personal invite. The whole point of these camps is not for us to send a personal invite. These are to bring together people that maybe have never hunted together. That's right. Maybe will never hunt together, except for the fact that they're going to meet up at one of these camps, learn from each other, meet each other. You'll add each other to Facebook, and all of a sudden you're going to go hunting with them somewhere else. And that is the point. We're not, if we just did the same old camp every year and we invited the same people, like, okay, well, last year we had these 12 guys, let's ask them first. It's not the point of what we're doing here.
No.
So anyway, I just had to make sure, just because you were perfectly lining that up, and I had to knock that one.
No, and
it's about networking.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not so much of, and yeah, it is about networking, but it's about, I don't know, I can't put it into words. And I love all my friends that I've met through previous camps, and I love you, and I want to hunt with you a bunch more. But there are so many other people, like so Dave will know, but like we created a chat group for the 16 people that are coming to the October camp. There's a lot of green hunters that are coming to that camp that are asking questions about calling, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's about, to bring these fellas in to be able to talk. Like, we've got a guy that has his own call company, like, and this guy, he has his own call company. He makes his own calls, and his response to the fellas that were asking about calling: bring your calls. If you need some help with me tuning your calls, he's not there to try and sell. Listen, he's going to want to sell some stuff, but that's not his goal. His goal is to come and hunt. And if he can help somebody become a better caller or fix their calls, then he's happy. And that's what it's all about. It's all about just being fucking good people. And that's what it is. And that's the message. And that's what we seem to always come back to. And Dave, when you said 100%, we're not, listen, I could have filled 16 people in 5 minutes with 16 people that I knew would have jumped at it like that. But that's not the point. The point is to bring in new blood so that somebody else can get to find their new hunting partner, to find a new buddy.
And it's kind of been cool too, like that chat group that Damien has set up for it. It's like, okay, hey, I'm Dave Palmer and I'm from Kincardine and I typically hunt this area. And then someone else posted, oh, well, I'm from Orangeville. And it's like, oh, well, I got family in Orangeville and I'm up there every now and then. And it happened with a whole bunch of people, like, oh, Steve Horst is from Walkerton, so someone else is going to meet up with him. And like, there's just people from all over the place. And it's showing you how actually close you are to someone else, that you could be hunting with them and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So sorry for cutting you off, but it was just the perfect time to mention it, right?
It totally makes sense. And listen, we would be foolish to not mention, like, Dave, I met you through the very first Punisher waterfowl camp, the very first one I done. You came out, and now you're you're part owner of the company. Phil, I met you at a camp in Eastern Ontario. And here you are on this show with me. I have so many friends that I've met through duck camps and hunting weekends and just being invited. Remember, the whole entire reason why I started this company was because I had no one to hunt with. I had no property. And it's ballooned exponentially. And it's now time to pass that on and hopefully get somebody else to meet a new hunting partner in their area. Partner up with, pool their resources together and just go about and have some fun. It's wonderful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's not about making money. It's kind of like duck camps are like a youth day for adults almost.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's a weekend away from the wife.
Oh, buddy. Oh, my window's open. I shouldn't say that so loud, but yeah.
Yeah, like when Damien had his camp, was it 2 years ago when I went?
Yeah, Long Point.
I didn't go there to hunt ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there to hang out, meet guys,
show dudes how big your boat was.
Like not in an awkward sense, but just meet guys and drink beer, hang out, smoke cigars, shoot the shit. Duck hunting was a complete and utter fucking side note to the whole weekend for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even though I did shoot my first redhead that Jason wouldn't mount, but whatever. Thanks, Jay.
No, he would have mounted it for you. It's just he didn't want you to
pay for
yeah.
such a
not that he's hung up on that, but that's okay.
But yeah, so you look at that
first
Long
redhead.
Point. You look at that Long Point weekend, Phil. Like there wasn't a ton of birds shot that weekend.
No,
but
again, not why I went.
No, but
I could have not left the cabin all fucking weekend. Wouldn't made two shits to me.
Absolutely, boys. Yeah. You know what, Dave? You got a little prelude to this episode saying that it was going to be ugly, but I actually think that it was a good episode and we got some good stuff out. And
that's because Phil came on.
In fairness, the Weber net here in the metropolis of Omimi, Neil Young's hometown, is shit. Like I'm legit. I've been streaming off my phone and I'm down to 11% left on my phone.
Wow.
Still better than Damien.
She's gonna die.
Still better than Damien's.
That's because I'm outside. Like
brutal.
There's like the field. This is actually my neighbor's trailer. I'm sitting on their deck.
I was gonna say fucking deck on ya.
Yeah.
That's
I'm now down to 10%.
Okay, buddy. We're gonna end this.
We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, we're at about the 60-minute mark here. So
I need to get a bonfire going.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this was episode 59.
Something.
Yeah.
Lots. 50 lots.
50 lots. 59. Yeah. And we are still trying to make sure that everybody understands that we are not a bunch of professional bird hunters and we will never claim to be professional. But we are 100% legit, love one another's company, and love hunting birds. Quick round the table, and then we'll end this episode. Phil.
Damien, you're still my favorite newfie.
Yes.
Ooh, Mark's having a problem with that.
Ooh. Actually, he says it all the time when he calls me. As soon as he calls me, I says hello. He says, "How's my favorite newfie?" So
how's my favorite newfie?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Mark can suck it.
Mark doesn't watch the show anyways.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, great the weekly chat. It's like therapy, especially this day and age. Love it. Countdown's on, regs are out. Let's go.
Big time. David.
Yeah, I agree. It's good to talk. Good to have this weekly meeting. And just remember, we're also not video or audio editors as well as professional bird hunters.
Hey, with that being said, last week, Dave done a pretty cool thing, and I'm
did.
guessing, yeah, that was really cool. So our good friends from Vortex Real Geese had their logos up. You know what? And just saying thanks for the trust and the love that they've sent us to stand behind us and help us get this word out to the masses is immeasurable, and we'll never be able to thank you enough. With that, lads and everybody, thanks for listening. We are the Union 0430. Until next week, big love.